What's going on? Welcome to Unlocking Your Inner Strength. In these episodes, I share with you insights and inspirations that have come to me on my path in life, and hopefully they can be a welcome hand of guidance as you move along your journey. I teach because I'm passionate about my message. I teach because it helps me to learn more deeply. Thanks for sharing a few minutes of your time with me for this week's episode, and without further ado, here is this week's show. What's up, everybody? Kyle with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. And I just started one, and then I had to delete the live because my music was still playing in the back on the phone at the same time. Usually that doesn't happen. But I am still trying to figure out how I can listen to music when I'm doing this. I got my computer recording. I'm live on my phone, so I haven't figured that out yet. But I think that would be pretty cool to have music going in the background while I do this. Two of my favorite things I pulled out. One of them sitting here, but another one when I was upstairs. This is from first grade when I lived in Bound Brook. Okay. Monster, the Mad Ball, sandwich, and then it's full of these guys. If you can't see, I got these in my lunch pail, the Mad Balls lunch pail from late 1980s. The Battle Beasts. I cherish these things. Two of my favorite things right here. And I'm telling you this because, let me just show you one more thing. I don't think my brother-in-law knows this is missing yet, but my mother-in-law said it was cool to take. But Masters of the Universe deluxe playset. I love nostalgic stuff. Love this time of year. To me, horror movies and Halloween really hit a nostalgic chord in myself because I can remember the Halloween when we were trick-or-treating back when we lived in Bound Brook at my grandparents' house. So imagine that, there was 8 of us in a little ranch house. And I can remember that first time I saw a horror movie. And it brings me right back to it. I was at my great-aunt's house. Chrissy and Leo were there, my grandparents, my brothers. I don't think my mom was there, so I'm not quite sure how we wound up watching Nightmare on Elm Street. I was 7 at the time, but now I show Emma that stuff, more so like Halloween. So I guess it kind of runs in the family with that, but brings back memories, right? A couple other funny things to catch you up on before I segue into stepping into your greatness. We went camping last weekend for the first time as a family. Dave and Christina, our good friends, came with us. I've been camping with the boys a few times. It's the first time Devin's ever been camping, which I couldn't believe. So her family was very out, travelers. They were out there. They were staying in RVs, but I guess the camping in a tent just never happened. So that was pretty cool. And then Emma's first time, so that was great as well. A lot of good memories with the rain. We had the coldest night of the year so far. It got down into the 30s at night. But once Emma was up exploring the tent, because she's normally in her crib, she was up. So I think I pretty much had her from 3 o'clock on. But it was fun. It was a fun time. We were up about 20 minutes from Camp Crystal Lake, where Friday the 13th was supposedly taking place with Jason, my second favorite Halloween character, behind Mike Myers. And then a couple funny forgetfulness stories for you today. So Wednesday, I was on dad duty. I'd missed a couple Wednesdays because of different work stuff. So I was really looking forward to it. Nice dad duty, dad day. Emma and Colty and I would pick Braxton up from school. Devin was working all day, and then she went out for a drink with her girlfriend, Caitlin. So it was already a kind of a hot mess going to Taekwondo with Colty. Couldn't find his gi jacket. He had stains on his pants. So I put a white shirt on him, whatever, figured it out. We get over to Taekwondo. Say, Colty, go ahead. Me, Brax, and Emma were going down the mall, the strip mall, to order a pizza. So when we came out, we'd be ready to pick up and then go take to my grandmother Chrissy's house. Chrissy's 94 now. She likes her pizza without cheese. So we got cheese and sausage on her half, cheese on the kids' half. I was having Mexican later that night with Devin. That was the plan. Order the pizza, finish Taekwondo. We go down to this little quickie mart, quick side store. I had to get wipes because Emma pooped. I had to get wipes, which I was out of in my truck. That's what happens when mom's not around. And with the going in there, I saw this cool older candy, like old school candy. I put a picture up on Instagram. Bought a bag or two of that, bought the wipes, went out, go get our pizza, pay, kids get more drinks, set it on the ledge of my truck, the edge of the bed of the pickup, getting all the kids buckled in, this side, that side, get in the truck, we leave, gonna make really good time ahead of time to get to my grandmother's house. And we're about a mile down the road, and I look to my right, and I don't see the pizza. Look in the back, don't see the pizza. I asked Braxton, I said, "Hey, buddy, where's the pizza?" He goes, "I don't know, Dad." I left it, and I knew it as soon as I thought it on the edge of my pickup truck. So, man, we drive. So let's retrace. It's only a mile back. We go back. It's getting dark. Can't see the pizza. Driving back. Don't see the pizza anywhere. Get back to the pizza shop. Look in the parking lot. Don't see it anywhere. So I'm like, man, it must have just fallen. I could pick it back up, clean it off, and then use it, right? And it wasn't the fact that the pizza was lost. It was the timing factor. I planned all this. I timed it really well. The time was the more valuable factor to me. Go in and say, have you guys seen my pizza? They haven't. I explained the story. They probably think I'm trying to scam them or something. And I said, listen, I'll buy another pizza if you can make it. Just want to know if somebody else brought one in. So they say, okay, 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, making us another pizza. I go back to the Quickie Mart with the kids, and it was just good, man. It reminded me of when I was young, going to the corner store or the Krausers near our house. But the Quickie Mart was like, it was like The Simpsons, right? Like we went to this Quickie Mart. You have this Indian guy running the shop, real cool, real chill, joking with us. Kids were driving with little bonkers, talking to him about candy. And anyway, went back down there, bought 4 more bags of this old school candy. So made the best of that. Got the pizza, went to my grandmother's. And yesterday, I'll tell you one more from this story. I was so wiped after jiu-jitsu. I was soaked, so I didn't even change my jiu-jitsu pants when I was leaving. I'd go pick up Braxton and the girls, our family, friends, girls. And I said, man, I'm not even going to put my socks on. I'm just going to walk out barefoot. Once I kind of cool down, I'll put my socks on, put my shoes on. So I leave, driving barefoot. I had to go to a fire extinguisher company. Get over there before I go pick up the kids. And I realized that I need to get my shoes on. So I go to grab them, and they're not in the front seat. They're not under my bag. They're not in the back seat. Turns out I left them at jiu-jitsu. So it's 2 days in a row, and Devin says that sometimes I have trouble focusing. Like she's got to actually hold my head sometimes when she's talking to me. So I can either be really locked into something, or I got like a million things I'm not thinking about as far as not being in the present moment. But it's more for me, my brain is just trying to make connections with different ideas I've had, like weird stuff, and it's constantly like making connections, not thinking about, oh, I wish I was doing something else. All right, so let's get into the main thing for the day. We have the Lamborghini State, one of our businesses, and it's been a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 3.5 years in the making. So December is 4 years ago that Shane and I went out to this seminar to learn from this guy, Gene, who sadly just passed recently from complications from a lung infection he had. But it's been so many delays, right? And, there's a lot of stuff going on, just stress, we're partners in the business, and it's tough being with family in a partnership. And me and him always try to, keep it positive. We really try to, believe in what you can't see yet, because that's what you have to do. But it doesn't mean you're not going to have stress or doubts or fear. So we had all that going on. So this is a couple weeks ago, let's say 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And, we're just not, the business is not progressing at the estate like we had envisioned. So we realized we had to make some changes, staffing changes, hard decisions. So you had all that going on. I won't get into too many details with that just yet, as far as how God works in mysterious ways. You had that stress going on. Devin had been kind of upset with me, to be honest with you, a few weeks in a row. I couldn't figure out why. I wasn't doing anything different, and I was trying to help more around the house. But it comes out that, you know, she's a world-class teacher, Devin. She hasn't taught since Colt was born, right? She's working for the gyms. And we knew that wasn't a long-term solution. That was just kind of so she didn't have to, she could break up her day of just being with the kids, you know, not to get that mom brain or to get out of that mom brain funk that some new moms get into. So, you know, we have that going on. Then she tells me there's an opening at Braxton School, which is a great little Christian school we found, Foundations First, and they're looking for a teacher. And she went in to observe. Like she said, I think we want to maybe try this out. I said, go for it, go check it out. And she's saying she wants to teach. And I was like, whatever. I didn't know why she was doing it, but whatever. If you want to do that, just do what makes you happy. I always tell you that. Do what makes you happy, and I'll support you. But you got to figure out what you want to do, right? And I talk to Devin just like I talk to myself or anybody else. Sometimes that comes off a little, we got different personalities, right? So I mean it one way, she sees it another way, and that creates friction, right? So anyway, you got that stuff going on. And then my buddy BK, who we just did about almost an hour and a half podcast together this morning, which will be out soon. It's on his show, so I'll be sharing that. Really cool stuff. We got into Bigfoot, all types of stuff, man. Spiritual beliefs, energy, you know, just all that, you know, all over the place. He had reached out a couple weeks before and said, hey, I want to come see you that week. I've got a seminar out there. Even though we hardly see each other in person, I mean, it's been a handful of times, a handful and a half of times. Devin calls us mental twins. Like, we just connect. You know, we just connect. And so he happens to come out this week where we got this going on, and we have a road trip planned to Cleveland coming up that weekend. So 2 weekends ago. It was just a weird noise. Hopefully one of the dogs didn't get a chicken. So we had this road trip planned going out to my aunt's celebration of life. My Aunt Penny passed in June. So you got a lot of stuff going on. Anyhow, I wake up that Friday morning. Brandon had made us a great Irish pasta dish. And, you know, he really got to hang with the family a lot. The couple of days he was here, and Thursday when I was working, he was kind of the man around the grounds, right? Which is cool. Because your family gets to learn from them, too, right? And you got to put your ego aside. You know, I know all my buddies, they can all teach my family something different than I can teach them. So, you know, I kind of look for those opportunities as well. Anyway, I wake up that Friday morning after that great dinner, and me and him are going to go work out at 6 with a couple other buddies of mine before he gets on his way and we leave for Cleveland. And I wake up, do my cold shower, come back into the bedroom, so it's like 5:30 on. Devin's awake with like a little light on, and she's doing it. I said, what are you doing up? She's doing that up at that time. So she was up, and she said to me, she goes, I'm gonna do the teaching thing because they need me. And it's not to say that in an arrogant way. Devin is what I'm telling you, she's the best teacher you'll ever see. She has a gift for teaching. And she could see where she could help. Right? She had been searching for what to do next. So when she said that, I was like, go for it. That's the right reason. I didn't know what your right reason was, so I wasn't all the way in. But once she said that, you go for it. So that was cool. Anyway, I get back from the workout. BK, you know, we say goodbye. He leaves. Me and Devin get ready to leave. And we get into, it's a beautiful drive out there this time of year. Going out to Ohio, like at the Shaker Heights area, Cleveland. And you just go, and it's peaceful, no traffic, leaves are changing. It's, you know, I'm not going to say I'm surprised, but I wound up being Devin's guide that trip for like a good 5-hour portion of that trip. Just figuring out, like, one of my things that I like to do and that I feel that I'm good at is connecting dots, being able to see connections and possibilities. Now, I'm not a details-oriented guy very much, but I could see how things connect. And that's what I was saying earlier. My brain is usually just thinking about that. It's always trying to connect stuff. It's not in the present moment. It's just I'm trying to connect stuff. So I'm asking Devin questions, piecing stuff together, blah, blah, this. And the way everything was unfolding with the estate business, we had a lot of stuff going on simultaneously. And the way Devin's kind of coming to teaching, and Brandon's timing coming out here, I had kind of determined, and she did too, that, listen, you have guardian angels in your life. Some of them are metaphysical, meaning you can't see them. Some of them are physical people, friends and family that you have. So DK came that weekend as one of our guardian angels, but he wasn't here for me. Though he loves hanging with me and the kids, he came as a guardian angel for Devin. He had a conversation with her, and it made her see it in a way I was having trouble making her just kind of, it's just one of what it was, but I can't even think, but it was one thing, and she got it, and she realized that he was there to kind of guide her through that part of her journey. So we're going out, we're driving, and it was the first time, but listen, this past year I really got into my faith. Before that, I always wanted to, I always believed in God. I'm talking about my faith, like resting on my faith, falling back on my faith. And when Leo died, my grandfather, and I got sick, and man, I was just in a weird spot in my life. I started getting into my faith, reading the Bible. All the times I tried before, it just didn't connect, but then something happens and it happens. So anyway, this trip out was that moment for Devin, really believing in her faith and seeing her faith and connecting with it. And it was really neat to see unfold. It's just, there's so many things behind it. It's like watching a movie, right? It's like watching a movie. And she connects those dots. We both feel really good for the first time in a long time. Now, getting back that week, right? There's actions that had to be taken to progress forward, and they're not always easy decisions. You had a lot of stuff going on, right? A lot of stuff going on. And, different things that the leaders got to do, making staffing changes, stuff like that. Not knowing, knowing that we don't know a lot about this industry, and that we have a lot to learn, and we were on the brink of crumbling. It was at that point, right? And not just financially, right? but belief, spiritually, on that brink, man. So you get back, and a couple times throughout the week, I could see Devin just, she was struggling with everything going on. Like, we had a great trip out, right? But it was taking a toll on everybody involved. And I reminded her once, and then the second time later in the week I'll tell you about it. This episode's going to be a little longer. I'll probably go for another 12 minutes. Just because I think this is important for you guys to hear. Faith is tested. Devin, this is how you know if your faith is true. You have to test it. Otherwise, it's easy when you're all singing in church on Sunday morning to have your faith. But what about when it's actually tough? What about the times we're living in now? I always ask myself, where's my faith? Where's my faith? Where's my faith? As soon as I start feeling doubt creep in, and it just takes it all away, guys. Instead of trying to do it all on your own, like I always try to navigate life on my own. But when you have that faith to fall back on, that's huge. So later in the week, made the big changes. We had one resident signed already from staff that we had to part ways with because it just wasn't the right fit, and sometimes that's all there is to it, guys. And I'll tell you this too while I'm thinking about it. Every employee I've ever had to let go, it's always been the best for them and for the business. I'm still friends with a lot of them. We're on good terms. at the time, it's painful, like any relationship when you separate. But it always worked out for the best. It was always the best thing for them as well. So anyhow, Devin has a call. They're trying to figure out, moving dates, and with this one resident we have. This is last Friday, and the resident wasn't happy about some of the changes we had made. Not the resident, excuse me, the daughter. And that's okay. Sometimes that happens in business. You got to be willing to not try to please the masses. I've learned that the hard way. Like when we opened the gym, I'd already learned that lesson. So I wasn't trying to please both sides because you couldn't please both sides of stay closed or go ahead and open. So daughter winds up telling her we're out. That's all we have at that point. But I said, Devin, it's the best thing that could have ever happened. I knew it because the energy was lifting from this, right? The energy was lifting from the situation we had to untangle. And I'm going to say the mess that I got us into. But it was, I knew, okay, you got to jump back in, and this has to happen. See the vision, and now rely on the strengths of the family and who we have to make it happen. Devin's like really upset. It's tough, right? Can't be involved with family. Really tough. And she, me and her were, more worried for Shane and Jess, and they really put a lot into this. So I said, now this is the way it's. But now your faith's being tested again. Your faith is being tested. What are you going to do? Where's your faith at right now? I just believe this is a great day last Friday, I'm saying, for the direction we're going. Go out, run some, I'm doing stuff with the kids, picking up chicken feed and stuff. And, I pull in like 4 o'clock. Devin had to go give a tour that night, last Friday night. 4 o'clock, a potential resident. And this place is going to be awesome. I'm super excited about this place. That we've been working with. Her son calls. He's on the phone with Devin. We're pulling back in. And she's talking to him. And she gets off the phone. She goes, we got a friend. Friend's going to be our first resident. We were like settled. We were so happy. Almost in tears. That was the same day, guys. And then the tour she went on at 5 o'clock. She's there till 7. So me and Brax were taking Brax to the Scare Farm, Norris Hill over here. But she was running real late. And like, can either be bad or good. And her and our new manager, Lilia, were over there. And so I said, I'll meet you at the pizza shop, or whatever. She called and she goes, just got our second resident. So boom, boom. This was within the span of hours, guys. When you clear bad energy and you have faith, this is how it happens. That's how it happens. And let me tell you, then this past whole week, Devin crushed it there. She took leadership and she said, I'm going to right this ship. She's the one who had the capacity right now as far as she's ready to have a purpose. She really did. She kicked butt. And that is the title of this podcast, How to Step into Your Greatness. And now, the last week, because we had all this rain Tuesday, her interview got delayed. She was able to move the ball forward more at the estate. Really stepped into it. Interview is rescheduled for next week. So the timing, again, God was working there, And she has this interview. Now she's going to step into that full force and really inspire a lot of these children. And we love the teachers they have there already. But I just know what adding more talent to the mix in any situation, what that can do for you if it comes from the right place. And she's on her mission. But this week, guys, I saw her step into her greatness. She started to believe in herself as much as I always believed in her, but she'll tell me things too. Right? We all have self-doubt. Sometimes we hold back. Sometimes we don't go for the greatness, right? Sometimes we're like thinking that it's not for us to be great, when it is 1,000% for you to be great. It's really the purpose of your life is to fulfill your greatness. and whatever that means on your journey. But that is why you're here, to see it happen with Devin this week. Take ownership of this. Boom. Get it. And then she was a rock star at home. Right? Her energy was off the charts. She fit in some social stuff. And now I know she's going in next week to kind of start teaching again. She can enter that realm. And her former principal is a good friend of ours now, Barb, wrote her a beautiful message. She wrote me on the way out. Because Barb's kids are at the same school where Braxton is. So to have Devin come full circle, really, really cool stuff. But you see everything at play. You see now, okay, it's her turn to go. It's her turn to fly. She sacrificed a lot so I could do that for a long time, right? So I could do what I felt at this part of my life I was put here to do. And not saying I'm going to stop doing that stuff, but now it's her time to take the next leap and propel us forward as a family. Because when the parents or anybody is on the mission and they know their journey, it's just awesome for the family. Right? So I feel like we're me and her are both now on this path. Always been, but it's cool to kind of to just see her step into it. The last thing I'll tell you to end this is a conversation I had with Devin on the way out about struggle. You probably heard me say this before. Struggle is a part of life. Suffering is not. Suffering is a choice. But the struggle, when that butterfly or the caterpillar is in that chrysalis or whatever it's called, and it's got to go through and break through to become a butterfly, that struggle right there. If you don't let it go through that because you feel bad that it's struggling, and you cut that thing open and it just flops out, it'll never develop the wings. It'll never become a butterfly because you didn't want it to struggle. It's through that struggling that it develops the wings. And that is how something beautiful was created. You've got to go through that opening, right? It's just like a child coming out the vaginal canal, I imagine, at birth. Same idea. Break through a new dimension. And then guess what? You'll get through another chrysalis, or whatever that's called. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And you're going to go through another process, another evolution as you continue to go. Just like playing the old school video games. Get to the next level. Get to the next level. And when you get knocked down, the good thing is once you're exposed to that level, you don't start back at the beginning. You start at that level. So you constantly advance yourself through the game of life. All right, I've rambled on long enough. That's the longest, man. I did almost 2 hours, 15 minutes of podcast today. That's crazy. But awesome. A couple other things real quick. We got the 80s dance. Okay, if you're a member, former member of Newell Strength, coming up November 12th at the Flemington Elks. We got invitations. It's a Friday night. I'm really looking forward to that. That's something I've wanted to do forever. So we got that coming up. We have charity cornhole tournament next Saturday at our Hillsborough location. And we have Fall Fest coming up at the Estate on Sunday, next Sunday, November 7th, 1 to 5. Live DJ, beer, food truck, reindeer, bounce house, pie eating contest. All this stuff going. It's going to be awesome. So we want you all to really come out and support that. So you can find that on lambertvilleestate.com/Fall Fest. You can register there. And that's it, guys. You guys have a good weekend. So talk about energy. Last thing I'll tell you, there's like a PS. I got Halloween playing upstairs. Nobody's home. But to me, it's kind of infusing the house with energy from Halloween. The Halloween spirit right now. Beautiful fall day here. So I want that vibe going all weekend in my house for my family. It's just that spooky, Halloween type of thing. So just a little energy lesson.
You wrote for today's episode. I appreciate you and your time, truly. I'm humbled and honored if you made it to the end of this episode. Don't forget, you can go to kylenewell.com for your free ebook written by yours truly on getting started with fasting, infused with 5 mind map principles never before seen. This is something I have not given out to anybody else that'll help you see the light when it comes to your fasting journey and creating better health, both physically and internally. Remember, it's all about the mind, body, and spirit. Until next week, peace.